The black void of space stretched endlessly, punctured only by the occasional shimmer of distant stars. My ship, the Wraith, hung lifeless among the debris of a forgotten skirmish. Sparks flickered from a ruined conduit, the smell of burnt insulation clinging to the recycled air. I had been drifting for 3 days with minimal power, life support running on dwindling reserves. My last hope was the broken distress beacon, barely transmitting beyond a few hundred kilometers. Out here, on the edge of the Orion Rift, the chances of rescue were next to nothing. I sat slumped in the cockpit chair, helmet under my arm, staring at the flickering console. My mind wandered. Maybe this was it. A soldier who had survived battles, raids, and mercenary jobs, reduced to another forgotten corpse orbiting nameless rock. That's when she appeared. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. A ship, sleek, almost organic in design, slid silently from the shadows. It was like no craft I'd ever seen, alive with faint glowing lines across its hull. The comm crackled. A voice, soft yet commanding, filled my cabin. "You are in distress," she said. "I can repair your vessel." Relief surged through me, but I couldn't help my suspicion. Out here, help rarely came without a price. The docking clamps of her vessel latched onto mine, and moments later, the airlock hissed open. She stepped through, tall, lithe, with skin faintly iridescent like starlight reflecting on water. Her eyes, deep violet, studied me with an intensity that made me forget the silence of space outside. "I am Kalen of the Alari," she said. "Your ship is damaged beyond what you can repair alone. I can restore it." I swallowed hard. "Why would you help me?" Her lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "Because in return," she said, "I will ask something of you." Middle. Kalen worked quickly, her hands gliding over alien tools that seemed to respond to her touch like extensions of her body. The hum of my ship slowly returned, systems rebooting under her guidance. I hovered nearby, half in awe, half wary. "What's this request of yours?" I finally asked. She paused, her violet eyes meeting mine. "My people are scattered. We once had a world, but it was taken, and we live in exile. There is something I must recover, hidden in the wreck of a Dominion battleship not far from here. My own vessel cannot withstand its defense grid, but yours, rebuilt, can." I frowned. "So you fix my ship, I fly you into a death trap?" Her gaze didn't waver. "You misunderstand. The wreck is dormant. But only a human signature can bypass the failsafes. I need you." It made sense now. My throat tightened. She wasn't just offering help. She had sought me out. I leaned against the console, thinking. My instincts screamed danger, but something in her tone, the desperation woven beneath the calm, struck me. "What is it you're after?" Her voice lowered. "A core fragment. It contains the last memories of my people's history before the Dominion purged it. Without it, we are ghosts. With it, we can reclaim who we were." The silence between us hung heavy. Finally, I exhaled. "All right, we'll do it." Her hand brushed against mine, not a handshake, but a brief, deliberate contact. For the first time, her composure cracked, and I saw gratitude in her eyes. 2 days later, the Wraith, reborn under Kalen's care, slipped into the shadow of the Dominion wreck. The ship loomed vast and broken, its hull torn open, jagged metal hanging like the ribs of some colossal beast. Kalen stood beside me, her hand hovering over my console. "We must enter through the central breach. The fragment lies deep within." I piloted us through the ruins, weaving between twisted corridors and frozen corpses of machines. The air inside was stale, clinging to echoes of war. As we pressed deeper, the The ship's dormant defenses flickered awake. Automated drones stirred, their optics glowing faint red. Kalen's voice sharpened. They sense you. Keep moving. Only your presence can pacify them. I swallowed, my pulse racing, but true to her word, as I stepped forward. The drones stilled. They turned their gaze toward me, scanned, then fell back into slumber. Human signature confirmed, a synthetic voice whispered through the wreck's speakers. Kalen's hand brushed my shoulder. You see? You are the key. Her words unsettled me more than the dead drones. Finally, we reached the core chamber. A sphere of fractured crystal hovered above a pedestal, glowing faintly. Even broken, it radiated presence. Kalen's breath hitched. There it is. I approached, my hand trembling. As my skin brushed the pedestal, the crystal pulsed, and a flood of images surged into my mind. Cities of glass towers under twin suns, vast seas filled with shimmering light, alien children laughing. A world that had been erased. I staggered back. Your people, they were magnificent. Her eyes glistened. Now you understand why I needed you. Carefully, I lifted the fragment, and for a heartbeat, I felt the weight of her entire civilization pressing against my chest. That's when the alarms blared. The ship trembled, metal grinding as systems rebooted. The Dominion wreck was not as dormant as she had promised. Turrets whirred to life. Drones awakened in swarms. Run, Kalen shouted. We sprinted back through collapsing corridors, the fragment pulsing in my arms. The drones swarmed, but every time they neared, Kalen stepped between them and me, her body shimmering with a protective aura. Go, she cried, forcing me ahead. We barely made it back to the Wraith, blasting free as the wreck imploded in on itself. Ending. The fragment lay secured in the cargo hold, its faint glow casting long shadows. I leaned against the wall, chest heaving, while Kalen stood silent, staring at it as though seeing her ancestors alive again. You risked everything, I said quietly. She turned to me, her violet eyes softer now. I promised I would fix your ship, and I have. But you have given me something far greater. You've given my people a chance not to be forgotten. I hesitated, then asked, what happens now? Her expression darkened. The Dominion will know the fragment survived. They will come for it. And for me. I felt something stir inside me, something I hadn't allowed in years. I wasn't just a mercenary anymore. Not after this. You don't have to face them alone, I said. She studied me in silence, and for the first time, her composure truly broke. Her voice trembled. Then perhaps my request was never just about the fragment. Perhaps I needed someone who would understand. Her words hung in the air like a vow. We set a course away from the rift, stars stretching into lines as the jump drive engaged. I glanced at her, this alien woman who had appeared in my darkest hour, who had asked for my help and, in doing so, given me purpose again. In the silence of the cockpit, she whispered, almost to herself, maybe you were the one I was waiting for. And as the stars swallowed us, I knew this was only the beginning.